Okay, here I want to apply basic dimension and also geometric dimensioning and tolerancing on this uh, model that I've already created. In order to add dimensions, so I go to Sketch and I'm dealing with a 3D part. I go to Sketch, select the Smart Dimension. You have different options here. So we choose the first one. As you can see, I have the main size plus minus the value of tolerance. I can play or change the value of tolerance, as you can see here, and I can have different type of tolerances: bilateral, symmetrical, limit, or symmetric. As you can see here, I can also play with the number of precision that is shown here. There are more other options. Say for example I want to add the diameter sign, the degree sign. I can use it here. I can show the whole values inside the box or inside parentheses. I can use these two. So you have variety of option to apply with your basic dimension plus your tolerance. The other options are also available in Dime Expert. Say if you want to have only your basic dimension, you can use this symbol. You go to the sign and then you have just the basic dimension that can be added in your Dime Expert. You can also have some locationer or a relative dimension, like if you want to have the angles. But the next option is how to add datum. Say for example I want this surface to be my datum, so I can stretch this one. I go to this one, and make it as my secondary datum, and this is the third one. Of course, in each of them I have an option to play with the type of the end shape, triangle, to change the leader, and you have more options available here. Okay, I continue this in order to define the value of diameter here, diameter of the outer surface, so that all of these features are listed here. Now I can move to geometric dimensioning in Dime Expert. For this one, of course, again I use the Smart Dimension option. In Dime Expert, say for example, now I have datum plane A, and I want to say that this surface I want to be parallel to datum plane A when it's at its maximum material. So I click on this one and they say, okay, I want this to be parallel. I have this value as a tolerance at the maximum material condition, and you see of course the primary part, which is related to the datum plane, is activated or enabled. I can add letter A here, or I can write it down directly here, and before I press OK, I just go to the surface I want to do it. So I want to do it on this surface. So what I do, I just click here and make sure the size of the leader is fine, and I'm done. So when I draw it, now I have an option just to make sure that it looks fine to me. So this is fine. Still, I can go to the right side and look at the view option. I can make it top, right, so on and so forth, but for now I'm fine with front view. Say for example I want also to define the flatness of this surface. So again I go to here and say, okay, the flatness of this surface, say, is 0.1, and then I insert, and before I press OK, I insert it on this surface and make sure the size is fine and escape. This is how we define geometric tolerance, datum, and also basic dimension on a 3D part. The next step is, okay, of course we save this, and the part will be saved with all these information. Now if I want to do this on the drawing, so I go and make a drawing out of the part. Say we are fine with the default paper size. I pull top view, side, and front view, and I make sure that hidden lines are shown. perfect. If I'm not fine with the size of the drawing, of course I can go down here and change the scale. If I want to set or define or add the datum line here, I go to annotation, click on the datum, and if the datum is, say for example, this circular or this round part of the shape, or if it's this surface here, I can only select it easily, and this surface is B, and say this surface is C. My different datums are set here. And now if I want to define geometric tolerance similar to the previous one, so I say, okay, I want this surface to be flat, 0.1 millimeter, and then I set it on this one, or it's better also to show it on this surface as well. Change the direction of the lead and escape. And this is how we can define the values of geometric dimensioning on the 2D drawing. Of course, to find the smart dimension, the dimension we use is smart dimension, so we can set it as you can see here. If we want to add tolerance, we go to here and say, for example, or set bilateral, and set the upper 1.01, the below tolerance, the negative tolerance 0.2, and then it's done. This is how we can define the value of or smart dimensioning of your 2D drawing. Of course, when you save this one, it will be saved with the same name, but the type, the file type gonna be drawing. Thank you.